All right, so let's hop into some draft talk, your specialty. We've got a comment here and several comments in the thread I posted on the subreddit from user I Hate Clutch Sports.
I saw that.
Which is
like good start.
He's one of our common contributors, one of my favorite usernames in the sub. So who are some players like in the shooter kind of wings or playmaker mold that the Celtics should be targeting in the draft? Assuming, we're around that 500-y range like we were last season and are right now. So we're picking like 12 to 18. Like, who are some guys we should be keeping our eyes on? Like, ooh, that team's on. I'll watch him because Matt Pennie said we might draft this guy.
This guy stinks. Oh, God, I don't even work at the Athletic, guys. This is a hobby for me. It depends on what you want. It depends philosophically on how you're trying to build. The way I view it as, sometimes people in NBA teams, they're hesitant to draft older players. So Chris Duarte out of Oregon goes to the Pacers. He ended up going 13th, which I think is the right place. But he statistically probably should have won 6 or 7. But he's 23 years old. That's buyer beware. Because on second contract, you're 28, and then you're like, oh, I think we lost his prime. Celtics should go that way. So the first guy that I like is a senior from Kansas is Ochai Agbaji. He's 6'5", chiseled frame, two-way guy. He came back to school after flirting with the draft. He's averaging 20 points per game. He's shooting 52% from the field, 45% from three. Celtics fans. Can create his own looks. He finishes well in transition. He gets in the lane, converts above the rim. Has been much more consistent across the board with what he does. And as that, he's okay. He's now elevated to being a star with Kansas, but he was okay just being like a role player, which is important for if we're keeping the Jays. Like, you need guys and pieces around there. Another guy I like, if we're talking Irish, we're talking the Celtics. I'd mentioned Blake Wesley of Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Sort of this surprise ahead of schedule guy at 6'5". He's averaging 13 points per game, handling a lot of primary ball handling responsibilities, gets to his spots well off the bounce. You can see the confidence growing. I mean, he's got a funky sling across the body type shot. If he goes back to school, he's going to be a real breakout guy for next year's draft. So you can snake him around 18 or 20, and he's popping up on all these mock draft boards. Today, he had 24 points against Illinois. He started every game in the ACC. He's going to be a stud. I firmly believe that. And the last one, I have Dell Moore from Duke. He's had a huge bounce back year after a lackluster sophomore season, shooting 41% from three on nearly 4 attempts per game, and also 6 rebounds and 5 assists while initiating some offense. And he could be Duke's MVP while still understanding his role. I mean, he's playing with Paolo Banchero, who's projected top 3 pick. He's playing with AJ Griffin, who's probably another projected top 20-ish guy. So when I'm looking at the Celtics, you also want guys that are going to understand what they're being drafted and what they're coming into. You're not just drafting in a vacuum necessarily for the best prospect. I mean, you definitely need depth, but part of that is still the understanding of knowing what to do when you get here in Beantown.
All right, before we get out of here, you went out on a limb. You mentioned him earlier last draft. For Bones Highland, I think you were way higher on him than most everybody of the normal kind of draft guys I keep tabs on. And it looks like you were probably right, honestly. Bones looks awesome, and he's just good. He is fun as hell to watch, too, playing with Jokic. So, who's got the Bones Highland award this draft? Who's your favorite sleeper in that first, second round? End of the first, top of the second type guy.
I'm going to hedge and give you about 3 because I think one is tough. Because last year I like Troy Murphy. I like Bones. I like Josh Primo, who's getting more of an opportunity now. Yeah. My guy who I don't know if he declares, but I would take him late first, early second, is Julian Strother from Gonzaga. He's never the guy out there playing with Chet Holmgren and Drew Timme, but he makes open shots. He moves well away from the ball. He finds places to cut and score around the rim. Shooting close to 50% from the field, 39 from 3. If he goes back to Spokane, he'll in my view, he'll be a locked top 20 guy. I love taking him kind of in that range because, again, he's the type of guy that's playing with 2 kind of national, I don't want to say player of the year, but names and entities and commodities that he doesn't care. That's when he back cuts and hit him with a bounce pass. That's when he sneaks in behind the defense and hits a little jumper. You need those type of pieces with the Celtics, what they're trying to do. If you want a creator, a guy I also like is Jordan Hall from St. Joe's. He's 6'7", multi-use offensively, where he can set screens and pick and roll and also come off screens and pick and roll, sort of like a Kyle Anderson slow-mo type of game. I think he'll be a better pro than he is right now at St. Joe's, despite his statistics of 16 points, 7 rebounds, 7 assists. And my last one is Julian Pennie from St. John's. He's averaging 21 points per game, 7 rebounds. He had 34 points and 16 rebounds last night against DePaul. He's shooting 44% from 3. Can be a tough defender. Definitely a rotational type of guy that could exceed his ranking too. And it's a weird draft. It's weird in that I don't love the middle of the first round to like the second, but that like 25 to 45, there's a lot of interesting names and older guys and college seniors and smaller colleges. And you may follow up and say, well, why aren't those second round guys in the first down? It's you're playing these games with upside and what a guy could be who's 19 versus 22. If there's a good thing for Celtics fans to look forward to, I don't think they want like a developmental project right now. They want guys who can step in and be okay getting minutes, and there are plenty of those guys. It just depends on kind of what your flavor is that you want to go after.